Shall we just start like from the very start when a client has a brief or an idea? How does it get passed down to different agencies? Do you go through a bidding or proposal process? What's it like? And then how do you start working with the client? Be really keen to know about that process.
Okay. The process is pretty straightforward. Like the clients, first they have to do is secure a budget for a marketing campaign, and they usually do like the main part of working in the client side of things. Usually is you do a lot of like data scouring and analysis. You do the part where you figure out what the customer wants. That's what you do in the client side of marketing. So they would do a lot of research. They have their data coming back from their last year's sales. They got R&D working on a new products, whatever it is, and they say, okay, this is what our customer wants. Now we need to let them have it. And what they'll do is they'll write up a brief for us. Now what is in the brief would usually be an introduction to the brand and the product, what the product is about, who their target audience is, like who are the people that they think will want this product, how much time they got, and how much money they got, basically. So that's all the information that's in the brief.
Oh, okay.
And
so
then,
they state out the budget right away.
well, that's the ideal situation. Now we like clients like that. we are manifesting all of this positive energy out there, so that all of my future clients disclose their budget from the start. But no, they don't always do that. Even though they should. So a lot of the time, what they would do is they could let you know, like they could tell you like an approximate range, like how much they would be willing to invest, or sometimes they would make it like unofficial. Like if you have a good account, like someone who's got a good relationship with the client, you can get like numbers under the table. Like you can try and get it in different ways. But there's a lot of guesswork involved as well sometimes when you get a brief. So what you would have to do is like you look at how much they're selling their product for, how long this campaign is, how important it is to the brand. So for example, if Samsung approach you for a campaign and it's their flagship new Galaxy S25 or whatever, then they can spend, like this is a big client, this is a big campaign, their product is like highly anticipated, they got, built-in fan base, all that stuff. That this campaign is a big deal, you can charge a lot more. But if it's like, a local brand, they come to you with like, just this new product that they're launching, it's gonna run in like 2-3 months. You kind of tell that like, okay, these guys are not gonna have enough money to spend. It's not going to be anything too extravagant. They want something practical, they want something effective, and the less money the better. Like there's some guesswork involved, and you kind of trying to figure it out along the way with like experience and client relationships and things like that.
Do these briefs tend to be competitive, or are they mainly just for your agency and that's it?
Oh no, they're definitely most of the time they're pitching based like briefs. Like the clients usually contact 2 or 3 or 4 agencies at a time. In most corporations, this pitching process is pretty much mandatory. So like, even if you've had really good like track record with this one agency, like you've worked with them before, you really like them, the team's really professional, does really great job or whatever, but anytime they have a new campaign, they still have to start the bidding process from the beginning, because that process is like mandatory for big corporations, because they want everything to be like transparent and fair. So like for example with Unilever, even though we pretty much work with them every year on multiple projects with multiple sub-brands that they got, but I mean about only 10% of them were directly given to us. The other 90, we still pretty much have to go through the whole bidding process and then wait for the results like everyone else.
Fascinating. I mean, I'd be really keen to be in the client's shoe just to see the results of the bids I get, to see the range of the suggested pricing.
I'm gonna tell you that what you give is what you get, really. Like if a client knows very clearly what they want and they're very clear on that expectation, then more often than not they'll get proposals that are more that are just better in general, just more feasible. It solves their problem more effectively, things like that. If you're a client who they don't give you enough information, they're a bit they guard the information a bit too closely
vague,
to the
right?
chest, bit vague, then you're not like a lot of the time they get not very good results.
Just on the bidding process, right? If I'm a budget conscious client, I would have a thought. I would say, okay, let's give this request for proposal, or let's put this requirement out there, brief out there to all the companies, hear their pitches, pick the best feature in each of those, and give it to the lowest cost company.
Well,
would that work?
There are two things to that. Number one is that those things do happen. You come across things like that every once in a while. It does happen, and it's the nature of the work. There's nothing to stop them from happening. Like this industry works based on trust and credibility a lot of the time. So a lot of the time when we do proposals for pitching, like even if we don't know whether or not we will get to do this, we still have to do demo, like we have to mock up all of the designs. We still have to write up demo articles and things like that.
It's a lot of effort, isn't it?
Yeah, we do put in a lot of effort, and the outcome a lot of the time is pretty like it's almost like some like 70-80% done. Like you can develop the rest pretty easily. So if the clients do want to do that, they can, and there have been cases where they do that. So that's just that's another Tuesday. You just got to deal with it. But then secondly, it's not just about having the idea though. Like for someone who works in creative, I would really like to take all of the credit, saying that, oh, you have a good idea, then your advertising campaign is definitely gonna come back a roaring success. But most of the time it's not. Like you have to quality control a lot of things along the way. Like what people don't understand is like you got the idea on paper, but the process of carrying it out is like way longer and like way more difficult process. So like from the idea, like from the script of a music video, for example, in order to execute the whole thing, working with which crew you're going to work with, which director you're going to work with, and then once you got the actual outcome, the actual video, which channel are you going to air it on, how you're going to promote it, which celebrities, which KOLs are you going to work with. A lot of these things take experience and expertise, and that's what the pricing is for. Like for big agencies, like for my company, for example, we've been around for like 14-15 years. I'm pretty sure we're one of the longest established PR agency in the country. So we have the network, we have the people, we have the skills to guarantee that anything we propose will be executed as closely to the plan as possible and will yield as best a result as they can expect. But another agency might not be able to. They might charge you less, they might take less money to do the same task, but whether or not you get the same quality, whether or not you get the same results is up for debate. And so as a result, even though clients still try to pull dickish moves, it usually can't happen more than once or twice. Like they will either do it and then get really bad results that they would regret later, and then just get back to doing it the proper way. And then secondly, clients who do that, like the advertising industry in Vietnam is very small and very tight knit. We know people, and most of the agencies that work in the same category, like most PR agencies would know one another, most digital agencies would know each other. Like we just think like words travel, so if you have a reputation of just doing things like that, then it's only gonna it's gonna take once or twice before most people will know, and no one will want to work with you anymore. So yeah.
Noted.
Year long.
Yes.
Like don't
I won't do that now.
don't pull one
I
of
was
those.
gonna do it.
No, it's interesting. I guess to summarize, my understanding is, aside from the idea, it's the different capabilities that you bring to the table in order to convey the idea and bring it to life.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it's not like every single agency would be able to do so. So, yeah, really depends on the differentiating capability of each agency.